I don't remember a time when curling wasn't a part of my life. When I wasn't putting in the sweat and hard work to be the best that I can be. Clocking in the time, the effort to practice day in, day out. Curling is more than just a game. It's a family, a community. And when it's time to play, I know I'll be ready. Hardline, supporting hundreds of our next generation athletes.
We asked Saskatchewan what they know about 5G.
More speed, more innovation.
It's going to make our lives a whole heck of a lot easier.
This is what 5G looks like.
Better, faster.
Sounds like one more G. Sounds pretty good.
I don't know what it means.
All you really need to know is the future of 5G is here and will continue improving through investments in network technology.
Good afternoon, everyone. Shawn, Joyce, Jim Nix with you here live from the Curling Stadium, Martensville International. We've got the finals. It's Amber Holland facing off against Kayla Skrlik. And because Skrlik was the A event qualifier, she's got the last rock here in the opening end of play, throwing the red stones. First stone of the end brought into the house, so we've got the exchange of hits. Jim, it's been quite the contrast for these two teams through the semifinals, at least. Kayla Skrlik, a strong opening against Jolene Campbell, got 2 in the first, stole 2 in the second, and then kind of cruised for Amber Holland. She was trailing after 4 ends and had to play comeback.
Yeah, I actually went in and just kind of watched the last couple ends of that game that she had with Corinne Brown in just a couple, 2 hours ago or an hour ago, whenever they finished. And it was, it was quite a dandy match. And you're right, she ended up picking up 3, I think, in the 7th to take a 2-point lead, and that was enough to do it.
For Kayla Skrlik, this is the lead, Jerry Lynn Ramsey. She also holds the broom when Kayla throws. The second is Ashton Skrlik. Margot Fleming, longtime player with Carey Galusha, is the third on the team. Of course, Kayla Skrlik in the house throws the 4th stones. For Amber Holland, new team this year. It's a senior women's team, but they're playing some events on the women's tour just to get some games in. A couple of them, at least, maybe all 4 of them, to be honest, just eligible for the first time to play senior curling. Trina Deardahl is the lead. Sherry Singler throwing the 2nd stones here. Jill Shumay, the 3rd, and of course, Amber Holland, the skip.
Yeah, Amber was really good yesterday. I did game Amber's yesterday, and she just had draw weight, just perfect.
They lost their opening game in this event, but then rattled off 3 in a row to qualify through the B, and of course, the semifinal earlier this afternoon. So they're not really over fatigued either. They might argue with me as a senior team, but they've only played 5 games so far. It's certainly that C event was the longer road.
Yeah, you were talking about that. We were talking about it in the previous game. Yeah, Jolene Campbell had a crazy number of games. She had 4 games yesterday alone.
She played 8 as it turned out. So
yeah,
and would have needed to play 9 if she'd have made the final.
Yeah. Sort of what's sometimes a typical first end here, Shawn, just teams going up and down the sheet, nobody doing anything too fancy in the first end.
Yeah, first rock was brought in, and the teams have been content to exchange hits. That was really the first chance with the rollout. If Kayla Skrlik had wanted to throw a corner guard, could have perhaps thrown one there.
Yeah.
Decided to play it into the ring, so the exchange of hits will continue. And if this plays through, you would expect an opportunity for Kayla Skrlik to blank this opening end of play and keep last rock into the second. The announcer's jinx being what it is, as soon as you say that, somebody usually flashes something somewhere. A pick, something.
Yeah.
Then they go check the tape afterwards to figure out whose fault it was.
Yeah.
It was the announcer. He jinxed us. This game's going to keep us on our toes, Jim. Two teams, very similar color schemes.
Yeah. Yeah, there's not a radical amount of difference, that's for sure.
The red on the Holland team, just a little darker, it looks like.
Yeah.
The red stone at the back of the 12-foot belongs to Kayla Skrlik. Jill Shumay looking to remove it. Makes the hit, does stay right there. Both teams at this point in time will be just trying to stick around in the rings, not so much because you're expecting a miss of your opposition. You just hate to give them that chance to establish draw weight. Both teams still had the practice session before the game. No draw to the button necessary, as I mentioned, because Skrlik was the A event qualifier. But that draw weight between the practice game and even the first end sometimes seems to change just a little bit. And a lot of players love if they get the opportunity to throw that free draw in the first end just to get game speed under their belt. So you hate to give that chance away.
Yeah, for sure. It's always, always nice to be able to be the team that has the opportunity to do so.
It's probably more in your head than anything else, but you just like to throw that draw in game situation that doesn't mean anything. It's my one chance to get that draw weight under your belt early. And psychologically, you hate to give that to your opposition. You just make them throw the hits.
Yeah.
They don't get to throw a draw until they're facing three. That's the way you like it.
Yeah. It's funny what the mind does. You go back to when we used to have a practices, first and second practice, and we went across the whole sheet and whatnot. If you had the first practice, it was a definite disadvantage as far as draw weight goes. But at the same time, if you made good draws in the first practice, if you chose to throw any, then that went with you usually right into the game, even though the ice was probably second and a half faster before you ever threw another one. Somehow your mind adjusts for that. So.
Have a little roll to the outside here, but it does stay full 12-foot. Just the skip stones left to come now in the first end. Amber Holland making her way down.
Yeah, looking up a little info on Amber yesterday, and I knew she'd been around for a while and played, and I knew she'd been in several Scotties, and turned out she'd been in 9, and she had a team that she kept together from 2005 to 2012, and they finally won the Nationals in 2011. That was a exact same team for 7 or so years. That doesn't happen anymore.
No. You can't even seem to keep them together for 4 anymore, even though that's the commitment they all ask for.
Yeah, you're right. It's there are more changes this year for sure than you'd expect with not very much time before the Olympic trials. Good shot for Amber there.
Kayla Skrlik now will simply look to duplicate that shot. had a very solid game in the semifinal. If anything, for Kayla, she had 2 draws she'd like to have back. A little heavy on both of them, but her hit game was very solid.
Yeah, she's a good player. And I think she's a little hard to pigeonhole into what she's going to do strategy-wise too. There was a couple of times when we were a little surprised, caught off guard, the shots she chose to play. And whether you agree or disagree, it was interesting that, you know, you just couldn't just automatically say, well, this is what she's going to do. So keep the other team on their toes a little bit.
Yeah, well, that's one of the interesting things about the game. Now, once upon a time, there used to be only one way to play it. There are more than one option in a lot of cases now. And like you said, agree or disagree. The other side of that is, as long as you make whatever shot you call, you won't very often get in any trouble.
Yeah.
Amber Holland with her final stone makes the hit. She'll stay in the 8-foot. So Kayla Skrlik will have to make the hit and roll out if she's going to blank this opening end.
And she plays all of these with very, very tight ice.
Final stone of the opening end. Kayla Skrlik looking for the blank on the in turn. Sister Ashton on the brush right away. She's going to be pretty thick on this first stone. Will not get the rollout. It's a single point on the board. A little bit of a miscue for Kayla Skrlik. She does have the lead after end of play. It's 1-0, but Amber Holland will have last rock in the second.
What do you got? You got 1, you got 2, you got...
Just one more throw, please.
You make moments like these possible.
Handcrafted in Canada, Hardline's ice pad has revolutionized curling for over a decade. Engineered with top-tier precision and durability, it is backed by an unmatched 10-year warranty. Designed for curlers at all levels to sweep effortlessly with maximum efficiency, it is trusted by the world's best curlers, including Olympic and world champions. It is quite simply the best broom in the game. Hardline. Join the revolution.
Saskatchewan, you know SaskTel because we're everywhere. Because being everywhere keeps us connected to you. With SaskTel sponsorships, we get to be part of your community. We're here with you, and we're here for you. It's easy to get started. All you need to do is apply. SaskTel cares. Always has, always will. To apply for sponsorship, visit sastel.com/sponsorships.
Second end underway here in this women's final from the Curling Stadium Martensville International. First stone brought into the top of the button area. Amber Holland calling for the corner guard.
Yeah, no real surprise here. I don't know Amber all that well, but I just wouldn't have thought that she'd go ahead and hit that. I figured she'd throw up the corner for sure.
And with that first stone sitting in the top of the button in a good position, Kayla Skrlik looking to guard it here with Jerry Lynn Ramsey's second stone. Not much out of the brushes so far, but they're staying close. Now you see Ashton trying to sweep for curl a little bit. This is going to be a little strong. The call was for the guard, and I mean, technically it is covering shot rock, but that's a really tight guard. It's biting the forefoot. And that means Trina can make a play on it.
Yeah, really early in the end, but a good opportunity for Holland to maybe get a hit and roll behind that guard even.
Just because of the stagger of the Reds, I think she'll probably try to hit and roll to the open side, and then you'll kill one Red and maybe spill the other one behind the tee line behind the corner. This is going to have to go on this to stay close to the nose. Not a lot of weight on this attempt. Just chips it over.
Yeah, very underthrown, really.
The nice thing, if you're Amber Holland, is at least it chipped it over to where there's a pocket. It's hard to guard everything here with one stone. Looks like they opted to just guard the shot stone. It leaves that second shot stone exposed. The danger is if you try to guard the pocket, you leave the hit and roll behind the corner. So that's the thing. When there's a double wide rock like that, you can't really guard it all with one. Chance for Sherry Singler. She could probably hit that open one and just roll to a corner freeze on the shot stone. Think, Jim, does it look like? I don't think she can get enough to the inside to make the double.
No, I don't think so either. I think you could make contact with the back, but I don't think you can get enough of it to remove it.
Well, they threw some weight here. They might be trying to get to the inside, and if you just touch the top of it, you might at least put it behind the tee line, but only gets back up to the nose. Chance for Ashton Skrlik to perhaps roll a second one undercover. Definitely wants to get some kind of roll here. If she was to nose hit this now, it'd be high enough that they could play the double and roll to the open side. Boy, this is really going though.
Yeah,
she's going to get by their guard.
No.
You know, that's another very quiet hit attempt. We saw one earlier, Trina Deerdahl, I believe it was, with the Holland team, quiet on a hit. There's another one where she's just rubbed the guard and shooter didn't get all the way out of play. I don't know if she had all of hack weight on that.
No, she didn't have very much, that's for sure.
Chance for Sherry Singler now to make the hit, roll in behind those double corners.
It's going to be right on the nose, I think.
Yeah, it's going to overcurl a little bit. Now, it leaves a double, but the interesting thing about the double attempt is there's a red stone that's just off the 12-foot at the back. And there is a chance you could jam on it.
Definitely possible. It looks like Skrlik's going to go for a the double and maybe even the double and roll. Oh, well, then there she indicated more like just the hit and roll on top of the other yellow one.
If you're hitting the first stone a little thicker, you'll be safe not to jam at the back. That's maybe part of the thinking here. The jam is thin, for sure. Might have got caught in between.
Yeah, she almost made the bang bang roll up behind the other one, but
didn't catch enough of the shot stone though to kill it.
No.
Jill can see enough of that rock to make a play on it. The problem is she's going to have to roll towards her own, might leave a double. They looked at the corner freeze. Tough to get the corner freeze and be second shot, though, when it's that high in the rings. So I think what they've settled on, it looks like bumper weight. They're going to try to hit the red and make the big roll all the way across to the other side, get some separation between the two yellows.
Yeah, I think this is the right shot for Amber, really. I think that this is she's had a good opportunity here to spread these out a little bit and set up a potential 2, and probably the easiest way to do it. Except you're on the guard already.
Not getting by. Rolls the shooter across for a corner guard on the other side. Shot rock is exposed. A chance for Margot Fleming to make the hit.
Interesting to see which way she tries to roll this.
Yeah, or if she even tries to roll it buried. I think by the time she rolls buried, she's behind the tee line, and you don't want to be behind the tee line behind the corner guard because you know what's going to happen then.
Trying to hold this straight.
Stays pretty much right there. Now for Amber Holland, the easier roll behind is to roll behind the two reds. The problem is it would be a short run back. So they're going to try to roll behind their own stone on the other side of the center line, but needs a 2.5 foot roll here.
Yeah, definitely the harder roll, but the result might be better.
Yeah. Well, they might be going plan B now.
Yeah, I think they're. Oops.
Yeah, that actually might be better. If you roll right in behind that red and it's such a short run, you could be in some trouble.
Yeah.
If Kayla makes the roll back in behind cover now, it's behind the tee line, well out to the edge of the 8 foot. There might be a double on the reds. Skip stones left to come here in the second end. Kayla Skrlik with a 1 point lead. He's got shot rock sitting to hit, trying to hit a sit 2. Makes the hit, gets a little bit of a roll, but stays fully in the open. Indication
I was
Amber
trying to make the roll, yeah.
Yeah. You're trying to roll probably dead underneath that red stone in the 8 foot, I would think, Jim, right?
Yeah.
Because you can't quite see all of the red. Like if she rolls just underneath the guard, Kayla can probably see enough of the red to play the run. If you roll
Yeah.
underneath the stone in the 8-foot, she might not be able to see enough of it to run it back. There'll be a little separation.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's that would definitely be preferred rather than just, like you say, roll a few inches here.
It's farther back than it would have been if they'd have rolled under on the last one. So there'll be
Yeah.
some separation if you can get the roll underneath that stone. This is going to have to curl a ton, though. Makes the hit, but the shooter will roll out of play.
Yeah, sometimes those rocks out that far this early in the game, your just tendency is, or should be probably most of the time, to make sure you don't drop the weight too much. And she just, I think, really overthrew that a little bit to make the roll, make the hit and stay and roll.
So Kayla Skrlik with her final stone looking to draw. You saw the indication they want to put it splitting the center line. Just full 8-foot. That basically, if they can put it right there, it would take away both draw paths. Amber would likely need either the double or a hit and roll just to score.
These are always a little bit of a challenge, though, when you try to do these.
Yeah.
There's so little room to work with. You see this kind of shot played a lot at club level, where it's like, well, we'll put it there. It's just not that easy to put it right there.
Yeah, you slide a little too deep, but she hits it on the nose for one.
Yeah.
I don't think you're in bad spot if you're a little short here, because the hit on the other stone's still not easy.
No, you're right.
Yeah, it slid a little too deep.
Yeah.
And really, this is almost hard to miss. Like, I think if she hits it on the nose, she shot rock. And certainly if you're anything on the broom side, you just come into the side of the other stone and get your one that way.
Yeah, I agree. It's not anything on broom side at all. You're going to score.
I think you're fine on the nose, too.
Yeah.
So final stone of the second end for Amber Holland, facing 2. But with a chance, nose hit, maybe just a slight roll, she can pick up her single. Now this is getting across the line early.
Yeah, this is not what you wanted to do.
No, you didn't want to hit on this side, but she's got a little bit of room to roll this way.
Oh.
It stops in time, rolls behind the corner guard with last rock, gets her single point, just shrugs her shoulders. Well, it worked. It's a single point. We're all tied up after 2 ends of play. It'll be Kayla Skrlik with last rock in the third.
Imagine being able to stream every curling game from every sheet from any event, be it your Wednesday league game, bonspiel, or corporate event. Curling Stadium offers an all-inclusive streaming solution featuring high-quality cameras, ease of use, great reliability, and minimal installation. Offering your sponsors customizable ad space on your streamed curling games and being able to sell video packages to your corporate events for increased revenue. With Curling Stadium, you can stream to any device, be it your mobile phone, tablet, or computer. Push the feed to your desired platform, be it Facebook, YouTube, or any other social media. Curling Stadium is simply the way forward. Where it's commonplace in other sports to televise every game, we want to do the same. Curling is a global sport, and it's time it gets the coverage it needs. Make your curling club the next Curling Stadium.
Join us this March for the House of Hearts Charity Bonspiel in Duluth, Minnesota. Help raise funds for Project Joy, who provides meals for hungry kids in our community. Every donation helps to ensure no child goes hungry. Join us and make a difference. Together, we can spread joy.
the final here from the Curling Stadium Martensville International Women's event. And interesting to note, we've got the two teams in this final. Amber Holland comes in having played 5 games and scoring 9.47 points per game on average. And Kayla Skrlik through 4 games, 10 points per game on average. And we've started out with 2 singles.
Yeah. Yeah. Nature of a final, I guess.
I guess so. First stone of this end slid into the rings, but it was one of those dreaded little part-way biters. And with the hit, Jerry Lynn Ramsey stays out of the ring, so it's in the free guard zone. Dangerous stone for Amber Holland, and yet she can't do anything about it at this point in time, so they're just going to call the center guard. It's a long center and not touching the line either, so not in the no-tick zone. Jerry Lynn going to play the come around. I think one of the things that I've seen, Jim, I don't know whether you've noticed it as well, but it changes the way these come arounds are played, that no-tick zone. If you're on the line, they can't touch that anymore. And it used to be a lot of times if you were playing this come around, you could tight ice it a little bit, knowing that if we play the come around and we tick the guard, we can get 2 corners. That's not a bad result. But when it's touching that center line, you can't do that anymore. And it's changed the way some teams play this shot.
Yeah, I would agree with that, Shawn. I think it's it's very different. I mean, there's no question about that. It's just you really it's good when the ice is like this and you've got all kinds of curl, because you don't have to worry about coming by the guard tight.
True.
When you get ice that's a little bit straighter, it becomes a lot more of a challenge to go that way, because you've got to clear that guard.
And they put the no tick in there to stop the ticks from later in the game when teams are ahead. But this is just one of the unintentional things that changed with that as well, is that teams have to change the way when they do come around the opposition center guard. They might take a little more ice now than they used to.
Yeah.
That one slides to the back of the 8-foot, so a chance for Sherry Singler to make the draw. Looking to come around their own stone. Tight, still looking for the tight guard, I guess is the call. Got to get around the long one. Nothing out of the brushers yet. Once they realize it's going to be in the rings, you got to make sure it buries. You can't let them have the chance to hit and sit 2. Might have left too much.
Yeah, definitely a possibility to make the hit and roll to sit 2 here. You can probably see only a third of it, but it's going to curl at least a half a rock or more.
Ashton Skrlik with a quiet wait. It's got a lot of room. It is curling. She'll make contact with the stone at the top of the rings. The question is, can she hold the shooter? And it left the rings and stayed out of the rings. It's still in play. I didn't dare say anything till you saw. We've seen a number of rocks spin back, and that's one of the things you will see with these aggressive stones. These are brand new stones as well, so the running surface quite sharp.
Yeah, a good sweep there by the Skrlik team to get that over there and make enough contact to remove it.
Does give Sherry Singler another chance to get the guard up. Still looks like it's got a lot of room. Weight might be a little better on this one, though. Well, it's a little better. It's not a lot better. It's still tight enough that you could probably hit and roll into the rings off of it.
Oh, yeah, I would agree. She can definitely do that. And she probably sees a little bit more of it, actually, than the last one. It looks a little bit more.
Yeah. I would agree with that. She probably needed that about a foot higher, and ideally you'd love to see it half a rock further under cover, but
Yeah.
even just the foot higher, at least there wouldn't be the chance to roll in off of it. This time sweeping to hold it straight. Got to get by the long guard. Not going to.
Will it roll on?
No. It will not. Hits the divider. So now as we move on to third stones, Jill Shumay with the chance to come around. Could even come right to the back one here. But you'd like to stay in front of the tee line if you could.
Yeah, if you can be buried in front of the tee line would be definitely better. Going to be hard pressed to get this one by, I think.
Just touches the edge of that stone. Shooter will spin into the rings. It's still second shot, but in a dangerous position. So Margot Fleming being asked to make a hit on it. She'll try to roll underneath. Couple of options here. She could roll underneath the yellow or roll all the way across underneath the red corner guard. Just rolls underneath the yellow. It's a short run, but there's no guarantee you make the double. I mean, it's possible.
Yeah, they're close enough together that it would be tough, but definitely doable. Could make the double and actually save yours against the outside one, probably.
Yeah. They'd probably actually be happy just to stuff this for now and stay in front of it. It's close to the raised double, though. It's going to touch it. Oh, but with that quiet weight, does she get either one of them out? No.
No, and that's a potential problem.
Yeah, that's not the way you want to miss that. Chance to hit and sit 3 now. Makes the hit, does roll to bite the 8-foot. Amber Holland in some trouble here. Is going to have to make the hit and roll towards the corner just to count out the 2 at the back. Even if you roll buried, Kayla Skrlik's going to have a chance to draw and maybe get her deuce that way.
Yeah, I don't know if you roll buried, if you'd probably be shot rock.
You'd be shot rock if you rolled the buried for sure.
But the problem here is you can't really go for a double because you're going to roll out if you try it.
Yeah, there's kind of the straight back one where you could probably keep your shooter in play. I don't know that you'd be shot rock though. Be close, I guess.
Yeah.
And you'd be open, so Kayla would be able to hit it anyway, sit 2. This is close.
Yeah, real close.
She's got the hit. Now will they get it under cover? Just gets to the edge of the guard.
Yeah, I thought that would go a little further than that.
Kayla Skrlik can see all of it, has a chance to hit it. Now she does have to be a little careful. She's got to get it across the face of her own stone at the back 12. And if you're a little thin on this, you could roll out. That would give Amber the chance to draw, get out of trouble that way.
Yeah.
But it is still another chance to hit and sit 3. Your shooter would be definitely full 8 foot if you can make this. So you're going to have to roll in a bit to make sure you clear the back one in towards the rings and over to the other corner. Now, we talked during the semifinal about that backwards motion that the Skrlik team has on their hits. That was fairly pronounced.
Yeah, thanks to her sister, she's going to hit it, but
she's going to make the hit, but with that big backwards motion on the release, she gets a little fortunate, catches her own stone that's out of the rings, and that's enough to keep hers in play. She does sit 3. Now, Amber Holland does have the get out of jail draw, if you want to call it that way. If she can get around the corner guard, she can come right down to that red stone at the back 12 foot. She'd be shot rock, and there'd be no way to get it out.
Yeah, definitely got some room to work with, and definitely have some rocks to be able to use here. So
yeah,
she wouldn't be too upset to have it go right back on the red one, to be honest.
Yeah, as it sits, yeah. If Kayla Skrlik stays in the 8 foot on that, Amber can't play this shot. Just a little too thin there, and fortunate to stay in the rings at all. This still has to be made, though.
Yeah, that's right. You're drawing against 3 here. It's like pull the string or something like that.
Without last rock.
Yeah.
Now, I will say we've seen so far through the opening 2 draws today, big movement after the rocks come off the center line. So she doesn't necessarily have to be too close to the corner guard. The issue is you're trying to throw to a stone towards the back of the house, and it's not a shot you play a lot.
Yeah. Got to get it by that one.
Line will be okay if the weight's good. I'm not sure she's got the weight. Yeah, that's just light. She's trying to throw to a rock in the back 12, and that maybe had full 8 foot weight. Now, there are a couple of stones back there that Gail's going to have to get this by, but this is a chance for 4.
Yeah.
If she's got the weight, I think she's by.
Yeah, I think so too. Could have probably used a little more ice, but
Kayla Skrlik with her final stone here. Chance to hit and stay for 4. Does have to pass it by or between a couple of her own stones at the back. This is curling. They hold the line nicely. She gets it right on the nose, puts it between the 2 red stones at the back. Put 4 points on the board for Kayla Skrlik here in the 3rd. She jumps out to a 5-1 lead here in the final. It's the Curling Stadium, Martensville International. 4th end action for you right after this.
I don't remember a time when curling wasn't a part of my life. When I wasn't putting in the sweat and hard work to be the best that I can be. Clocking in the time, the effort to practice day in, day out. Curling is more than just a game. It's a family, a community. And when it's time to play, I know I'll be ready. Hardline, supporting hundreds of our next generation athletes.
We asked Saskatchewan what they know about 5G.
More speed? More innovation?
It's going to make our lives a whole heck of a lot easier.
This is what 5G looks like.
Better, faster.
Sounds like 1 more G. Sounds pretty good.
I don't know what it means.
All you really need to know is the future of 5G is here and will continue improving through investments in network technology.
This is it. It all comes down to this rock. The hours in the gym, the weeks away from my family. This is what I've been training for. And all those voices trying to tear me down, I'm here to silence them. We've given everything we have for a chance to get everything we want.
Fourth end underway. First stone called for into the rings. That's it you see just coming to rest. Full 12 foot. They would have liked it a little deeper than that. Amber Holland was going to play the corner guard no matter what.
Yeah, and unfortunately for Holland lost. And it was it's odd to see they score 4 points and the best they had was just full 12 foot on any of them. So
yeah, they got a little unfortunate in, was it Kayla's first one? She ended up running up against a stone that was out of the rings to hang a third one in the rings, and a raised double attempt that the Holland team played earlier on in the end. It just really didn't throw enough weight. Made contact with both stones, didn't get either one of them out of the rings.
Exactly, yeah.
Corner guard didn't really get as far off the line as they might have liked either.
No.
Jerry Lynn sticking with the out turn, looking to come around her own stone at the top of the 12 foot. Ends up on the corner of the button. It is fully out in the open though. Amber Holland more worried about that stone on the 12 foot for now.
Yeah, it looks like she's not going to play to remove this. She's just trying to move it back behind the tee line and maybe roll behind that guard.
Might be able to set up a pocket with the two reds actually with this kind of weight. It's certainly going to be going towards it if you're making the roll underneath your own.
Yeah.
Overcurls just a little bit. The shooter will roll out into the open. It does leave the reds grouped a little bit on that side.
Yeah, just underthrowing those a little bit, I think. You go back to that last end, like you say, with the double, and that shot probably needed a hair more weight than that just to hold it where it was. And
that one's not bad, though. If she hits that a little thicker to hold her shooter in behind cover, she'll tap that red stone a little bit farther back as well. That one was close.
Yeah.
It's a tough shot. I mean, you're trying to come across the face of a stone and tap it to a very precise spot. Those aren't high percentage shots.
No, exactly.
She got a decent result. And really, honestly, that's a decent result for the Holland team, too. The Reds are all grouped. Two of them behind the tee line. Amber's first thought was to come around the corner. I agree with this. I think you kind of have to play with those reds right now. You come around the corner, Kayla Skrlik's going to peel the corner guard. You have to keep her from doing that for as long as you can.
Yeah, it's you can only wait. You can only wait so long on that. You kind of got to make something happen here a little bit.
This is more weight than I thought they'd be throwing. You really want to just tap this up and leave the pocket there. They actually end up moving all three red stones.
Yeah, I would have expected a little bit later than that too.
So Ashton Skrlik looking for the hit from the intern. She can roll back towards the center line. I don't think she wants to roll under cover. She's probably behind the tee line if she does that. Well, she leaves those reds pretty even. So now a corner freeze on either one, but you're probably going to play the corner freeze on Shot Rock. It becomes really tough to remove this one.
Yeah, I think that was a little bit helpful for Amber Holland actually to have that roll to where it did.
Yeah, they probably would have liked it to stop just at the top of the forefoot. Like it kind of rolled through. If you look at the figurines or the figures in the logo, if it had stopped on the green head, let's put it that way, then it would have left the awkward angle on any kind of a pocket or double. This has got a curl to get the corner freeze, though, and maybe slow down. It might be a little strong. If you're going to be strong, maybe go between them. Yeah, they just didn't make a decision in time there. You might have been better off to come around that to the back of the forefoot.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Still going to be tough for Kayla Skrlik to make a play on this yellow without leaving a pocket. Like, how do you roll past either of those red stones? You're going to roll into one of them or the other, I think, depending which side you want to hit it on. You might have a better pocket after this one.
Possibly.
Boy, you don't want to hit it right on the nose, I don't think.
No.
It's not a pocket anymore. Now it's a wall.
Yeah. Yeah.
The danger here, if you're Amber Holland, that's what she's looking at. You freeze the pocket on the two that are biting the button. You're still only third.
Yeah.
Does Kayla Skrlik ever just throw a guard?
Well, I think it's possible. I think it's possible.
It kind of it's counterintuitive to throw a guard when you're up by 4, but really, Kayla Skrlik with sitting 2 on the button, if this corner freeze is made on either one of them or right perfectly between the two of them, this is going to be a little strong. And the worst kind of spot to be a little strong because she didn't roll onto the corner. Like, if you're going to be that strong, if you roll to the corner of either one of those other stones, it's still hard to remove. Where it is, it's pretty easy.
Just another case where possibly, and again, I don't know for sure, but you feel like if the sweepers had let Amber know that was going to be back 12, then
you sweep for the roll, right?
Yeah, she's trying to sweep that a little bit differently, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, because if you roll that over the corner, how does she get it out?
Yeah.
But when you get right to the nose like that, like even if she jams it on the back one now, it's still 4th shot.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's just not good at all. It's getting difficult now, too, for Holland to be able to... She only has 3 rocks each to come. Or 3 rocks to come, I guess, period.
So looking to hit the red right on the nose, kill the back red, stay in front of it. Yeah, actually, you could over curl this a little bit. I mean, you got to make sure you're by the guard, but you could jam the red onto red and roll in behind the yellow guard too. You're still going to have a double available on the reds.
Yeah.
If you hit broomside on this one and roll back into that opening again, that's how Cailey gets it out. And the brushers are backing away from this one. I don't know if she's even making contact.
Oh, no.
Just rubs the shot stone enough that now it's tough to get any kind of a pocket. Now the stone in the... As we look at the house from the thrower's end, the stone at the right-hand edge of the forefoot, you might be able to come off it into the one that was just pushed over, and you'd be buried.
Yeah.
This is the tough spot for Kayla is, well, we're sitting 5. Where do you put the next rock?
Yeah. Actually, if she can find a way to take that hit and roll away off that one that you were just talking about, it's probably going to be her.
Yeah, I think she's got to take it. It looks to me like she's trying to basically put one right in the port of the two reds, and you can come right in. I mean, it could be full 8 foot. It could be even with the other two. You just can't leave Amber a hit and roll opportunity. Anything that she's got to draw to, it's not going to help her at this point in time.
Yeah.
Only thing I guess you don't want to do here is be behind the tee line. This might over curl. Boy, you don't want to overlap your own, and you did. That should have been swept differently than that. Now, if Amber makes that hit and roll underneath, you don't even have a run because you've overlapped the two reds.
Yeah, you're right. They need to.
You'd have been better off to chip off.
Yeah. Well, Amber certainly needs to make this one.
Yeah.
She does have a little bit of an opportunity. She take advantage of it.
Yeah, this, if she somehow manages to escape with 2 here, that would be the ultimate skips deuce when you're facing 6 on your first one and score 2.
Yeah. Yeah.
She needs to make something good here just to make sure she's got a chance to score.
Yeah.
Rushers are cleaning early.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Just not making the move at the end. They've gone switch for the curl. She's going to get the nose hit, and that does not get you what you need, because if Kayla hits it right back on the nose, how do you even score? She might have to try the wide in turn and see if she can get to the face of that stone behind the tee line.
Yeah, I don't.
Might be there. I don't see anything else.
No, I don't see anything else either. I think that is there. More than likely, that's there.
Yeah, it looks like it is.
Yeah,
looking at it from the hack end, it's
really tough to go out to the edge of the 12 foot or something though in this situation and have to make a drive to the 4 foot.
Well, and if you're throwing at a shot like that, and we saw it in the semifinal, it might have been Jolene Campbell. I can't remember for sure who threw it, but if you throw that like you're throwing to the back one,
yeah,
and you throw a little bit more weight to make sure you've got the weight to get there, it might never curl enough. And if she doesn't get a good solid piece of the 4 foot, it's going to be a steal of at least 3.
Yeah.
Now they're sweeping for curl here. Now it's coming up. Had they rolled out a little bit, it would have given her some room. They're going to make the nose hit. Rolls in a little bit. Rattles off the stone at the back. So sitting 5. And the only shot to score is to come down. She's got to get to the face of that stone that's just behind the tee line. She's got no room to be on the outside of it. If she's on the outside of it, the stone at the top of the 4 foot would still be shot rock.
Yeah, if you're on the outside, almost all those at the top are going to score.
Well, I'm saying if you're on the outside of it with just draw weight, like she's got to get every bit to the face, I think, to be shot rock. Do you not think? Like a corner freeze on the outside isn't gonna have shot rock.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. I think you have to be on the nose, and if you're on the nose,
certainly to the point you just made, she has no room to roll to the outside. You can't. If you've got any kind of bump weight, it's got to be right on the face.
It's a really tough shot.
It is, and line wise, you almost got to flirt with that stone at the top of the 4 foot. Well, if you rub it, it's still probably 3, at least maybe 4.
Yeah.
So final stone here. Fourth end, Amber Holland facing 5. 4 of them biting the forefoot. She's got to play the wide draw and try to get to the face of the stone at the back of the forefoot. Line looks nice coming in. Now it's really moving. Is she going to get by the one at the top of the four? I don't think it is.
No, it's not. No.
Now, will she spin in enough to cut it down? No, it's going to be a steal of 4. Kayla Skrlik with a 9-1 lead now after 4 ends of play. And we may see the gloves come off. It might be handshakes.
It is.
It is. Kayla Skrlik, the champion here in this year's Curling Stadium Martensville International Women's Event. She goes through the event undefeated, came through the A side, won the semi this afternoon, and comes up big with a 9-1 victory over Amber Holland here in the final after only 4 ends. An exciting finish for that team, a good event for them as well. Even for the Holland team, hard to drop your heads too far. They did have a solid run. They lost their opening game, but rattled off 4 in a row to make the final, and then just nothing went well for them here today in the final.
No, it sure didn't. It was never much doubt, actually. It just seemed like after those first 2 ends, the third and fourth ends were just, we're all Skrliks. Really, just Amber didn't have much there. That last shot, though, I tell you, and it really hard to sweep that even because you're just out there. If they were able to know that it was going to die and pick it up a little bit early, she would have been really close to making that.
Yeah, it wasn't far off. Yeah, they had a strong come from behind in their semifinal, just didn't have anything left here for the final. But doesn't look like they're too heartbroken. They made a final.
Yeah.
And that concludes everything here from the Curling Stadium Martensville International. Kayla Skrlik, your champion for 2024. On behalf of myself, Shawn, Joyce, Jim, Nix, we want to thank everybody for joining us here at the Curling Stadium Martensville. And stay with Curling Stadium all fall. And there's a couple events after Christmas this year. Lots of curling yet to come. You'll catch all the action on the Curling Stadium Network.
Handcrafted in Canada, Hardlines Ice Pad has revolutionized curling for over a decade. Engineered with top-tier precision and durability, it is backed by an unmatched 10-year warranty. Designed for curlers at all levels to sweep effortlessly with maximum efficiency, it is trusted by the world's best curlers, including Olympic and world champions. It is quite simply the best broom in the game. Hardline. Join the revolution.